your seatbelt, okay? Because you gotta buckle up.
I love you, Anna.
Buckle up.
I love you.
Because the story's insane. And I don't like hype anything up the way I'm hyping this up because it deserves to be hyped, okay?
There you
ready?
go.
All right.
Buckle up, buckle up.
A newly elected Republican congressman is a liar. I know, it's not breaking news, except
It's
this
so,
guy
they
takes it
all
to a whole
lie,
new
but this
level,
dude lies
and
on
the
everything.
Big failure here is really the New York Times. What do I mean by that? Okay.
Drums.
This is a story that should have been, I don't know, published during his campaign, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of an investigation during his
The
campaign.
media fucking
But no, the
sucks
New
in
York Times
America,
just
guys.
published this story
The media
about,
sucks.
again, a newly
They're all
elected Republican
liberal, they're all
congressman
corporate.
from Long
That's why I
Island.
go online and I like TYT and then other smaller
it turns
creators,
out that
other
he
smaller
has
news
lied about
channels.
everything. His name is
Look, I like TYT. I like Secular Talk. I love the Rational National. I love the Humanist Report. I love the Majority Report. I love. I like the Deprogram. They're a good podcast. I like Hassan Abi. He's pretty good. I like Dylan Burns. I like Shark 030. I like. Who else? There's a guy called Pillows that I just subscribed to. There's a guy called Hugin. He's a Swedish dude. He's pretty lit. There's a lot of people that I like, and you know, because I don't like just watching mainstream media because they're trying to feed you a certain narrative. You know what I mean?
George Santos. And when I say lied about everything, I mean everything in his resume. He is the son of Brazilian immigrants, that we know is true, and the first openly gay Republican, we don't know if that's true, to win a House seat as a non-incumbent. By his account, he catapulted himself from a New York City public college to become a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor with a family-owned real estate portfolio of 13 properties and an animal rescue charity that saved more than 2,500 dogs and cats. Wow, that is quite a resume.
And it is awfully specific. I mean, it wasn't 2,600 cats and dogs or 2,400, it was 2,500.
Now, the New York Times investigated these claims after he got elected, of course, and found that, wow, there's a lot of inconsistencies here. Looks like he might be lying about a lot of this stuff.
No.
Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, the marquee Wall Street firms.
Yeah, so this
Santos's
newly
campaign.
elected congressperson, George Santos, which is probably not his real name, or it might be. I have no idea. It might be something else, actually. Something Anthony Devolver? Or that might be his fake name that he's using. But anyways, this dude literally stole money from a homeless veteran who had a dog with cancer. And a big tumor was growing on the dog. And the homeless veteran wanted to set up a GoFundMe for the dog's treatment, right? And this dude just stole the money and left. The poor homeless veteran. So much for Republican values, huh? Wow. Wow. Good job, Republican Party. You guys are so nice.
Campaign biography had no record of him ever working there. Officials at Broush College,
Republican
which
Party
Santos
is
has said
so
he
evil,
graduated
man.
from in
They're so
2010,
evil.
could find no record of anyone matching his name and date of birth graduating that year. It gets even crazier, okay? But
yeah.
how are we learning about this now?
Well, I can tell you how. I ran for office at the congressional level, as this guy did. And
yeah, it turns out that guy that defrauded the homeless veteran with the dog that had cancer also was a drag queen in Brazil. And he was elected to the Republican Party. And they don't hate him for being a drag queen. So they only hate drag queens that aren't rich and powerful and in political office. That's the Republican Party. They hate anyone else that isn't in their side.
Contradicting conclusions, but there's a reason for it. So number one, local races get no coverage at all. So you could make up anything and nobody in the press will bother investigating. No one will call you out on it. But there's a catch, and this is the contradictory part. So that's if you.
And look, I love drag queens. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, like, Republicans hate drag queens and LGBT people. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's
have
kind of
all the
ironic
time
that
in the world
they're
to
electing
investigate everything
someone that
about
this
you,
stuff
okay?
with this
And
past.
even
You know what I
find
mean?
microscopic things that you did and
Very
deleted
ironic.
15 years ago, just so they could say, aha, goddamn outsider, okay? Look at the thing that he deleted 17 and a half years ago, and that's why you should never elect him now.
No, but there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. So take Cenk out of it for a second and consider the fact that this guy actually ran for Congress back in 2020.
Okay.
But back in 2020,
He ran before.
presented himself as like this diehard Trump loyalist. He did not present himself as a moderate. This time around, though, he did present himself as a moderate. So look, I'm probably joking about him
Don't
being
vote for
openly
moderates.
gay and saying,
Don't vote for moderates. Moderates are usually corporate Democrats or just Republicans. They're either corporate Democrats or Republicans. That's what a moderate is. Don't vote for moderates. You gotta vote for progressives or leftists or socialists or, if you want to go as far as communists, you can go ahead. But those people usually don't win because our system hates them.
I don't know if that's
our system's
true.
scared of communism,
I don't know
guys.
what his
Spooky.
sexual orientation is or whatever. Like
spooky
but
word.
I say that because now I'm wondering, did he just say that to appear moderate?
Yeah, if you say gay Republican to a mainstream media guy, they'll be like, oh, that's perfect. Moderate Republican, love it. Right?
Right.
So, and this guy is obviously a pathological liar.
Yeah, he's
so
a pathological liar. Like, he lies about everything.
Anymore, including whether he's gay or not.
He said his mom died at 9/11. He said his mom was in the buildings when the towers collapsed. But she wasn't. He lied. He lied.
Right.
He's a liar.
So when he ran again the second time, he like scrubbed his website of any like Trump love and all of that stuff. So anyway,
he is
now let's
such
get
a
to some
liar,
of his
dude.
other lies. He
It's
also
crazy.
claimed that he went to NYU. No record of that whatsoever. He lied about that. Jesus Christ. There's also no record of his animal rescue group, Friends of Pets United. So it's a charity, right? So it should have some sort of filing with the IRS. The New York Times looked into it, no filing with the IRS whatsoever. But he did hold a fundraiser, get a load of this, in New Jersey with the New Jersey Animal Rescue Group back in 2017.
Oh my God, he held an animal. He held a what?
In New Jersey.
A fundraiser?
But he did hold a fundraiser.
He held a fundraiser with Dr. Oz. Oh my God, Dr. Oz. Why are you going to New Jersey where Dr. Oz lives? Get out of New Jersey.
Get a load of this. In New Jersey with the New Jersey Animal Rescue Group back in 2017. And as part of the fundraiser, the cost of entry to
Don't go to New Jersey.
big event was $50.
Dr. Oz is
and he
around.
claimed that the money was going to go to, a specific organization. Okay.
FOPU?
No, we don't know because the organization spoke to the New York Times. They wanted to be anonymous because they're afraid of retaliation, but they're like, we didn't receive any funds.
Oh,
Yeah, he lied.
I'm kidding around about FOPU.
I don't know what that is.
Friends of Pets United.
Oh, Friends of Pets United
It
FOPU.
sounds like something you'd do. Come here, FOPU. Come here. Okay, all of it is made up.
No, it
Come
gets
here,
crazier
Fopu.
though. It gets so crazy. He said in an interview on WNYC that his company, which he did not identify, lost 4 employees at the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando in June of 2016.
What an outrageous lie.
But a Times review of news coverage and obituaries found that none of the 49 victims appear to have worked at the various firms named in his biography.
Of course. Of course.
Oh my God. And by the way, like,
of course.
where did he get his money from? Because he did loan money to his own campaign. So there's something going on. His financial...
I would not be surprised if this guy turns out to be like a Russian-funded, like a Russian-funded politician. He takes Russian money or something.
Disclosure forms suggest a life of some wealth. He lent his campaign more than $700,000 during the midterm election, has donated thousands of dollars to other candidates in the last 2 years, and reported a $750,000 salary and over $1 million in dividends from his company, the Devolder organization. So what is the Devolder organization?
Things that devolve?
Well, this candidate, I should say now congressman, has devolved quite quickly, right? Now, his firm is shrouded in mystery. There's a lot we don't know about it. And on a campaign website, he described Devolder as his family's firm that managed $80 million in assets. On his congressional financial disclosure, he described it as a capital introduction consulting company.
Sure, of course.
A type of boutique firm that serves as a liaison between investment funds and deep-pocketed investors. But Santos's disclosures did not reveal any clients, an omission 3 election law experts said could be problematic if such clients exist. What? So we don't even know what religion he is because he's been inconsistent on that. So he has described himself as a non-practicing Jewish person, but at the same time,
he says he's
has
Jewish.
also said that he's Catholic.
But he's not
He also claimed that
Jewish.
he made his family's fortune through real estate.
He said he was Jewish, but then he said, I'm Jewish? You know what I mean? Like, not Jewish. Like, I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Like, what does that mean? You're not Jewish, bro. You're
However,
Catholic.
he has
Get the
not
fuck out of
disclosed
here.
any record of his property. So remember, he's like, I got 13 properties. But okay, well, all right. Well, where's the documentation for that? There's some chance that he lied about his resume to seem more moderate, as we mentioned before. And new revelations uncovered by the Times, including the omission of key information on Mr. Santos's personal financial disclosures and criminal charges for check fraud in Brazil,
Check
have
fraud.
the potential to create ethical and possibly legal challenges once he takes
He's
office.
a fraud artist.
So
Why
back
does
in
the Republican Party?
back in
Why does the Republican Party only hire fraud artists? Why do they only elect fraud artists? Like, because they're fraud artists. Don't go Republican, guys, please. I beg you. I beg you, anything you do, don't vote Republican, because a lot of the time, normal working class people think, oh, he's going to cut us a tax break. Oh, a tax break. No, that tax break is going to be for the 1%, okay? They don't care about everyone else. They don't care about the 99%. They don't care about the poor, okay? All they're going to do is just give you a tax break that's not permanent. But you know who's going to get the permanent tax break? The rich are, of course. Companies, the rich, they're going to get the permanent tax breaks, but the regular people aren't. It's bullshit.
in 2008
not
when he was
fair.
19 years old. He had decided to steal a checkbook from a man that his mother was actually caring for, and then use that checkbook to make all sorts of fraudulent purchases. Police and
Wow.
court records show that Santos used the checkbook to make those fraudulent purchases. He got arrested for that, but he also, 2 years later, he also confessed to the crime and was later charged. He also faced eviction 2 times, once in 2015 and another time in 2017. In May of 2017, Santos
course.
faced another eviction case from a rent-stabilized apartment in Sunnyside, Queens. Santos's landlord accused him of owing more than $10,000 in rent, stretching over 5 months, and said in court records that one of his tenants' checks had bounced. A warrant of eviction was issued, and Santos was fined $12,208 in a civil judgment. But guess what? After that happened, he decided to campaign on behalf of landlords and against tenants.
Wow.
So here's a tweet to give you an example. He wrote,
What a
"Will we
butthole.
landlords ever be able to take back possession of our property? My family and I, nearing a 1-year anniversary of not
Santos
receiving
for
rent on
Congress.
13
Oh my
properties.
God.
The state is collecting their tax, yet we get zero help from the government. We worked hard to acquire these assets."
Did you? Did you?
Insane.
So I got to give him credit. That's method acting. He's really like living the role. He's like in his head. He does have the 13 properties. As I was going through this story, I thought to myself, there's only 2 possibilities for where he got the money. One is family. His family left him some decent chunk of money, but they're not doing any, private financing or hedge funds or private equity or none of that stuff, right? Some family member left him a chunk of change, right?
So he's just a rich kid.
And this goofball is playing around with it. Or,
There's scamming going on.
yeah, or he stole it, right? Those are the only 2 options, right?
Or
And
he
so
stole it.
Maybe there's a magical third option, but I don't look like it. And so it looks like it's the scam.
Look at what a loser, bro. Look at this guy. Someone didn't stuff this guy in a locker. Listen, I've been bullied, but people like this need to be bullied. I'm sorry. Fraudsters and Republicans gotta be bullied. Republican candidates need to be bullied. Republican politicians gotta be bullied and stuffed in lockers.
Scams. rather than the family.
In Minecraft.
But it also reminded me of a story from my personal life. We once met this guy who was going to get married to a family friend's daughter. And he had gone to NYU, he said, for undergrad for business school. I was like, oh, that's what I asked, okay? I had gone to undergrad for business school. Then he applied for law school and I applied for law school. And he got into Harvard. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And when my dad and I asked him, what'd you get on the LSATs, right? Because we were super curious and we're at a family dinner. And then he gave us a number
that made no sense.
That didn't exist, okay? It was above the maximum.
Man,
it was above the maximum. Now, but
look, we live in a society where people do not do their due diligence.
We live in a society.
You have never checked to see whether or not I actually graduated from Cal State Northridge.
That's true.
We live in a society,
Maybe I lied
folks.
about going to a Cal State school. Maybe I lied.
On the other hand, a former employer of mine did do their due diligence. He didn't believe where I went to school that he said, if you show me a transcript from Columbia and Wharton, I'll just give you the job, okay? And I showed it to him the next day and he gave me the job.
Nice.
Yeah, that is not nice.
Damn.
That's not nice at all.
I know. He assumed that I was a scam artist. See, there's a guy doing due diligence. Anyway, back to the other family friend. We told the family that was involved. We said, look, this is super awkward, but we think that don't get married to this guy. We think he might be a pathological liar. There is no such score in the LSATs, right? And of course they didn't want to hear it, so they ignored us. Which the reason I bring that up to you guys now is because that's the Republican voters. You tell them, look, these guys are obviously lying to you, right? And the Republican voters go, don't care. I don't care. Yeah, was it not obvious that Trump is a pathological liar? They don't care. They want him to lie.
But let's just be clear. In the case of Trump, you're right. But in the case of the Santos guy, you're wrong because literally no one knew what a pathological liar allegedly this guy was until the New York Times decided after the midterm elections to investigate this.
Now look, so credit where credit is due and discredit as well. But so number
Credit,
one,
you're right.
To be fair to the Republican voters, they haven't had a chance to vote yet since they have found out the news that he's lied about.
Yeah, this news came out way too late.
Are you sure he's not going to get realected?
But they're going to reelect him,
really
though.
sure?
I feel like they're going to reelect him. They don't care.
And then number two is credit to the New York Times that at least they did it afterwards. I mean, at least somebody turned them on to the story and they bothered to do an actual investigation. Should they have done it earlier?
They don't care.
Back to my race for one last comment. LA Times reporter talking to me, different times, but he's covering up a fake. He's covering a fake scandal. They're going to write a huge story about it to try to hurt my chances of winning, but mainly Bernie Sanders' chances of winning, because that's when they care. That's when they want to do investigative journalism, right? And find out nonsense. But I say to him at the end of the interview that he did with me, are you guys ever going to cover the policies involved in this race? And he said, honestly, and I give him credit for being honest. He said, no, we'll probably never write a story about that.
Well,
and
and
it's true, they didn't.
The proof is in the pudding.
The LA Times in a congressional district in LA chose to write no articles about policy or anything else of substance. And that's why guys like this think.
I'm trying to figure out how to
if I
share my
was
stream on
lying
my other
massive,
socials.
Record-breaking scale, where would I go? I'd go into politics, where there's nothing but liars and the media
no.
barely ever checks.
Now he denies that he's lying. I want to be fair and give you his statement because after the New York Times published this, his office released a statement. George Santos represents the kind of progress that the left is so threatened by. Bro, I didn't even know
the
who
left
you were
is
until today.
threatened
Yeah,
by
so
me.
threatened by Santos, the Jewish Catholic real estate dude.
A gay, Latino, first generation American and Republican who won a Biden district in overwhelming fashion by showing everyday voters that there is a better option than the broken promises.
What a
and
liar,
failed policies
dude. He's a
of the Democratic
liar.
Party. You can read the
What
rest
a
for yourselves.
Weasley little liar,
I
dude.
would like to see him actually respond to
What
all
a
of the
Weasley little
inconsistencies
liar,
the New York Times has
dude.
exposed in their piece.
Yeah, show us FOPU. Where's FOPU?
Can someone tell
Where's friends at
George
Pepsi Night?
Santos that he's lying?
With a comment from one of our members, YouTube member Dirt Flyer wrote in, Santos would fit in perfectly in Congress.
That's true.
And
True,
to be fair,
yeah,
that
he's
is
right.
an excellent point. In fact, it's such a good point. $100 gift card. from
Oh,
Blue Apron.
damn.
Email rewards@tyt.com. They'll confirm who you are, and you'll get free food for contributing to the show. We love our members. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it.
Damn, good
Another way to show
job. He
support
wants
is
some
through
food, bruh. He wants some food. Here's the second George Santos, guys. He's the second George Santos allegations.
Turns out that
So besides him scamming dogs with cancer and homeless veterans, besides George Santos scamming homeless veterans and dogs with cancer, stealing all their money, he also allegedly performed as a drag queen in Brazil.
Freshman congressman and well-known
Let's learn about
liar, George Santos competed
Welcome,
in
whoever
drag
just
queen
joined.
beauty pageants when he was living in Brazil. This is from 15 years ago. There is
15 years
evidence
ago
that has surfaced lately as a
juicy,
result of
juicy
the story.
evidence. Juicy, juicy.
Look, obviously, I think there's nothing wrong with drag queens.
Look, there's nothing wrong with being a drag queen. Like, honestly, I would love to go to a like a drag show. That seems pretty cool. Go with my girlfriend or whatever. But like, when you're a Republican and you're just like, you hate on these people, you are causing damage to the community. You know what I mean?
Think that they're fun, but the Republican Party has spent a lot of time in recent months making it appear as though drag queens should be public enemy #1, that they're super dangerous, that they're corrupting the minds of children across the country. And so maybe that's the reason why George Santos has decided to deny that he competed in drag queen beauty pageants in the past, but we do have the evidence. Stick around for that.
So
First, how did we find out about
I wonder
this?
with all this new evidence, I wonder if the Republican Party would vote for George Santos the next time around. I bet they still will. I bet they don't care, even though they're Republican and they hate LGBT culture and all that. You know what I mean?
The drag name Eula Rochard.
Eula, where is it?
Said
Eula
she
Rochard
befriended the now congressman when he was cross-dressing in 2005 at the first Gay Pride parade.
All right, my boy's pretty progressive. Okay.
3 years later, Santos competed in a
Gay
drag
Pride
beauty
parade
pageant in Rio.
That sounds lit.
According to his acquaintance. Now, everyone knew him as Anthony, never George, or by his drag name
Anthony.
Kitara.
Oh, he lied.
And
He lied about
she
his
provided
name.
receipts. So I know it's a grainy image, but on the right-hand side, that is where you will see George Santos.
Okay, you can kind of make out
on
George
that one,
Santos.
I wasn't positive that it was Santos, even though everybody was saying it was clear.
But we have more evidence.
But
there's
I saw
more
the second
pictures.
picture and I was like, oh yeah.
Graphic 4.
Look at him.
Yeah, that's
Oh
that's a
shit,
much,
dude.
much
That's
clearer
him,
picture.
dude.
Look at the cheeks, look at the nose.
He
look
looks
at the
beautiful,
eyes,
man.
look
I'm
at
not
the
gonna
teeth.
lie.
That's definitely him.
He looks great.
So, well, now he's in trouble.
Is he though? Because look,
I don't know. I feel like the Republican
do
Party
I
will
think
still vote
that
for him. I don't know.
conservatives and the Republican
Maybe
Party in
not,
general
though.
genuinely sees drag queens as a threat
I don't
to
know.
children?
Maybe they won't.
No.
Maybe they'll freak out
But
about
what
this.
they love to do is provide the squirrels. And they love to find and target a particular group to fearmonger about for their campaigning purposes. Because again, what else would they campaign on? Their crappy economic policies that rig the economic system in favor of the rich and to the detriment of the poor? That wouldn't play so well with their base.
Yeah, no, I know, Anna, but that's why he's in trouble. So,
Oh,
look,
yeah. He might be in
If
trouble
you're a
then.
Republican, can you lie and get away with it?
Yeah, you can
We're not
lie.
mainstream media. Almost all the Republicans lie. Almost all the
But you can't be
politicians lie.
gay,
Republicans
like,
and Democrats.
or
And
whatever.
We're talking about lying. We're talking about lying.
They don't like
The
that.
leader
You know
of
what I
the
mean? Like, you
Republican
can't just be
Party was
gay or like drag
Donald Trump. I'm
queen
not sure
or
who's a bigger pathological liar, Donald
they
Trump or
will
George
like
Santos.
literally hunt
Now,
you down.
Media makes it sound like, oh, Santos, the
So-
one guy who's a liar, who's a politician. Are you guys kidding me? Are you
I think with all this new information that's come out, I think the Republicans, like the voters, they might flip on him.
joking? Okay, so of course the Republicans don't mind him being a liar. Not only the Republican politicians, and McCarthy, remember, needed his vote as he was trying to become Speaker of the House. That's why he backed him. And remember that he won in a district that is actually a Biden district. So the Republicans don't want to get rid of him because of that, because they were afraid of losing the seat, right? Because it's all about power. So that's why I thought Santos was pretty safe. Like, liar, they're like, welcome to the party, right? And then he, apparently we found out the other day that he, took $3,000, said he was going to save the dog's life, let the dog die.
Homeless veteran.
A homeless
who had
veteran.
A service dog that
had
needed
a service
surgery
dog,
to
yep.
live. Unfortunately, crossed paths with George Santos.
Oh, my bad.
Who put up a GoFundMe fundraiser page for the surgery, but then took the money and ran.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
do
took the
Republicans
fucking
mind
money
that?
and let the dog
No,
drive.
Trump
they
ripped
don't
off veterans all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Trump ran a fake charity, just
Yeah,
like George
that's
Santos
true.
did. But Trump's fake charity had a lot more money, and they would use it for absurd things like buying a giant painting of Donald Trump twice. Okay, and they had to pay a fine and shut it down because even Trump admitted it was a scam. So they don't mind any of that. You think they mind the dead dog? I mean, this country goes nuts for dogs, right? But even that, they would be like, who cares? It just shows that he's vicious. And Republican voters like vicious, right? And they're like, a con man, that's smart, it's good business. It's good business. Whoever gave him money is a sucker and a loser, right? But a drag queen, we can't have it.
No, but
Yeah,
let
I
me
don't know
finish
how
my
they're gonna
thought,
have that.
because they scaremonger about drag queens for campaigning purposes because they want power. But once they have the power, they don't care.
I
right?
know, but it's embarrassing them.
Do you think the Republican Party is capable of feeling embarrassment, Jake?
Yes.
What?
And so hold on.
Okay, I'm holding.
So, and this might be missing a critical element. I know
probably.
that. But remember, Madison Cawthorn did
Yeah.
embarrass them. And he
Remember Madison Cawthorn? He was this guy in a wheelchair. He was this handsome Republican congressman. And there was a bunch of videos that came out of him dry humping his cousin or whatever, like, you know, on the bed, like just playing around. He said playing around, like, you know, just air hump, like, you know, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Anyways, but yeah, like he immediately got booted out of Congress.
because he mentioned that they were doing orgies and they were doing cocaine.
Yep.
Okay. And what did they use to make sure that he lost? They showed pictures of him cross-dressing.
I know, but they went after Madison Cawthorn because he
True, they did go
he
after
said
him.
something
They might not go
that
after
could
George
potentially
Santos.
hurt members of the Republican Party, so they retaliated.
I know, but the reason why this hurts members of the Republican Party is because they're all going on the warpath against you. They say, oh, we don't mind drag queens. We're just worried that a single child might see it. And then all of a sudden they would become gay or something, right? So that's their whole, what else do they have? They don't have anything else. Like Anna said earlier, it's not like they're gonna fight for workers. So this undermines their one thing,
Oh,
which
look
is
at those
all the people we hate.
queens. Yes,
So
queen.
it's tough to hate him when Santos apparently was a drag queen.
Yes,
so look, I'm not saying they're gonna get rid of
queen.
him because they still need that seat.
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of it.
Okay, but I'm just saying this is the thing that makes it the most likely out of all the different horrible things that he's done. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being a drag queen. My point is Republicans will take a thing that's perfectly benign and say that's way worse than him being a liar, a thief, etc.
Yeah, look, there is, in my opinion, nothing that could potentially come out about this guy that would convince Republican leadership to pressure him to resign or for Republican leadership
she's
to
probably
retaliate
right.
against him the way they did with Madison Cawthorn. I would be shocked.
Probably right.
Especially considering that seat that he won, that George Santos won, was held by a Democrat and it was flipped by George Santos. In their minds, you know, forcing him to resign and potentially having a special election would make them lose another member of the Republican Party in the House, which would make their slim majority in the House even slimmer, right? So I doubt they're gonna do anything. At the end of the day, everything they do is motivated by their quest
politics.
for political power.
Power, yep,
okay?
power.
So with that said, let's talk about how he was a really bad drag queen, because that's fun,
All
okay?
right.
So Richard said the congressman was a poor drag queen in 2005 with a simple black dress, but in 2008, he came back with a lot of money and a flamboyant pink dress to show for it. Santos competed in a drag beauty pageant that year, but lost. So he tried to bring it, but didn't really bring it. He's changed a lot.
So all his
but
corrupt
was
money, he
always
took
a
it and he
liar.
bought a
He
nice
was
dress with
always
it.
such a dreamer, Richard said. And so he, by the way, denies all of this. He's like, people are showing pictures of me dressed as a drag queen and accusing me of being a drag queen beauty pageant.
That's
and
AI
it's a
art.
lie.
That's
Here's the example.
Photoshop.
Yeah, I mean,
He's talking about lies. He's
he
talking about lies.
lied about where his mother was on 9/11.
Yeah, remember I told you guys
He
that?
campaigned claiming that his mom was, you know, at the towers.
Yeah.
On September 11th, Luckily, she escaped, but she became very sick thanks to that toxic dust and died because of 9/11 due to the inhalation of that. Turns out she wasn't even in the United States. She was in Brazil at the time.
Brazil.
Yeah, well, that toxic dust does travel. Could have reached all the way to Rio. By the way, she died 15 years later. Okay, but tell me the difference between George Santos and Donald J. Trump. All right, while you're doing that, we also have a poll for you guys.
They're both crazy.
What is he more likely
egomaniacal
to get in
liars.
trouble for? Participating in a drag show or scamming a homeless veteran and letting his dog die? Now, Americans love veterans. They love dogs.
Let's find the homeless veteran
Are Republicans
picture.
still human? Do they still like
video.
these dogs and veterans? We'll find out.
Every day,
Let's find that one. Your ex? What the fuck? Where is the homeless veteran one? Where's the George Santos dog? Come on. George Santos dog. Here it is, guys. I found it 11 days ago.
I also knew him as Anthony Zabrowski.
so you knew him.
That was it.
Why did he say he had two names then?
Well, he used Zabrowski for his Friends of Pets United,
Wow.
his GoFundMe, and he would say, "Oh well, you know, the Jews will give more if you're a Jew," and so that's the name he used.
Wow.
You just heard from the former roommate of
The Jews
freshman
would give
Republican
more if you are
Congressman George
Jewish,
Santos.
if you fake your
And,
name.
not only did he lie about his heritage, something that we have talked about on this show before, George Santos also stole that particular roommate's Burberry scarf, which they also discussed in that interview. But for the purposes of this story, I actually want to focus on something else, which is George Santos's alleged dog
His neck.
charity, animal charity, which turned
He has
out
no
to be
fucking
a bit
neck,
of a
bro.
scam, according to one formerly homeless
George
veteran
No Neck
who
Santos.
had the misfortune of crossing paths with George Santos and accuses him of scamming him in his moment of need. Now, in 2016,
When I am hell at night, I inhale from a giant cigar. All right, let's keep
a
going.
veteran by the name of Richard Ostoff was homeless and living in a tent in an abandoned chicken coop. Now, he did have some company, his service dog, a pit bull mix named Sapphire. Now, there they are. It's a really sweet photo. Just want to warn you guys, this story was difficult to produce, just thinking about the insane cruelty.
This
that
dude's a
someone would
fucking
have
asshole.
to
Get ready
carry
to,
out,
like,
that
get
George
ready to start
Santos did
hating
carry
George
out in this
Santos.
case. But that man was scammed allegedly by George Santos because when he needed money to pay for a necessary surgery for his service animal, George Santos swooped in, engaged in a fundraising effort, and ran with the money.
Yup. Scumbag. Scum.
So what happened? So Sapphire
Scum of the
developed
earth,
a
dude.
life-threatening stomach tumor. And when Ostoff found out about it, he went to the vet, of course, and found out that a surgery would cost about $3,000. Now we're talking about a homeless veteran who's living in a tent. Clearly he didn't have the funds for it.
What the fuck,
A veterinary
man?
technician took
Why do we have homeless veterans in the richest fucking country in the world? Huh? Why is it? Why do we have homeless veterans in the richest country? Like, it makes no sense. We have enough money to support these people. We should be able to fund their health care, fund their housing, fund their food, fund everything. Why are there homeless people, homeless veterans, at the very least. Why are there homeless veterans? There shouldn't be anyone homeless, but why homeless veterans? At least help them, for fucking God's sakes. Jesus.
Ostov
Oh my
aside and told
God.
him, quote, "I know a guy who runs a pet charity who can help you." His name was Anthony DeVolder, also known as George Santos, by the way. And his pet charity was called Friends of Pets United, the vet tech told him. Now that was when George Santos ended up putting a GoFundMe page up for Sapphire in order to raise money for Sapphire's surgery. But much like Santos's congressional campaign, his efforts turned out to be nothing more than a scam meant to enrich himself. Now, Ostov and another New Jersey veteran, retired police sergeant Michael Bohl, who tried to intervene to help Ostov in 2016, says that Santos closed the GoFundMe he set up for Sapphire after it raised $3,000 on social media.
That dude is garbage, man.
As you can imagine, Michael Bohl was furious about this. I contacted Santos and told him, "You're messing with a veteran," and that he needed to give back the money or use it to get Ostov another dog. He was totally uncooperative on the phone. Now, there were other issues too, like the fact that Santos told Ostov that he needed to use a veterinarian that he knew in Queens, New York, rather than the veterinarian that he wanted to take the dog to in New Jersey. Santos claimed, no, you gotta go to this
Fucking
vet
scumbag,
in
dude. That's so fucked up,
in Queens, specifically because I have a good working relationship with this individual. I have credits with him, and so you need to take the dog there. And he obliged, he listened. It was a tiny little hole in the wall place, but looked legitimate. The vet there said they couldn't operate on the tumor.
Oh my God.
Ostov said, adding that he was confused because the New Jersey vet didn't express any similar concerns. So in other words, it seems like this veterinarian, if this person actually was a vet in Queens, told him something that might have been untrue, that the dog could not be operated on, because the vet in New Jersey said something completely different, that the tumor was operable, that they could do a surgery and take the tumor out. It would just cost a lot of money.
That's fucked up, man.
Now, Ostov had one final phone conversation with Santos, who said that because he didn't do things my way, he put the GoFundMe money from Sapphire's fundraiser into the charity to use for other dogs. That's when Bohl jumped in, right? This is the other person who's a friend of Ostov trying to help him out. And he told Santos that he couldn't do that because the money was specifically raised for the pit bull mix. Now, on November 13th, 2016, he urged Santos to let him take Sapphire to another vet, saying, quote, "My dog is gonna die because of God knows what." And here's how Santos replied to him. Santos replied, remember, it is our credibility that got GoFundMe to contribute. What credibility? What credibility? Like, who are you? He continues to say, we are audited like every 501c3. Turns out, by the way, it was not a 501c3, so that was a lie. And we are with the highest standards of integrity, also a lie.
Liar.
Sapphire is not a candidate for this surgery. The funds are moved to the next animal in need, and we will make sure we use of resources to keep her comfortable. A lot of grammatical errors there. You guys get the point. Now, in December, the New York Times reported that the charity was not a registered nonprofit. So it was not a 501c,
what a fucking liar,
501c3.
dude.
That was a lie. There needs to be more of an investigation to figure out what this charity was, what happened with the funds that he raised through this so-called charity. But nonetheless, Santos disappeared after that. And we have some proof that this story is in fact true, because here is a screenshot from the Facebook post that Richard put up in 2016 when all of this went down. To everyone who helped me and Sapphire raise the money for her surgery, I'm sorry to say that we were scammed by Anthony DeVolder, again, that's George Santos, and Friends of Pets United through a series of bad veterinary contacts and subterfuge regarding payment. Sapphire has not received care, and her growth is 3 to 4 times bigger than it was when the campaign was fulfilled. She is facing euthanasia within months. And this is where the story gets really difficult.
Oh my god, dude.
Because
what a fucking demon,
this
man.
veterans support animal, support dog.
What a fucking
ends up
asshole,
dying.
bro. Like, seriously?
Sapphire died on January 15th, 2017, after being
Dude,
out
what
of
the
work
fuck,
with a broken
man?
leg for over a year. Ostov couldn't afford the dog's euthanasia and
He literally had a
cremation.
broken leg. He couldn't work.
He said, I had to panhandle. It was one of the most degrading things I ever had
Jesus
to do, he
fucking
remembered.
Christ.
And he also said,
That shit's
he told,
making me really
Patch
sad,
the
guys.
following
Really fucking sad, man.
of his dog. Little girl never left my side in 10 years. I went through 2 bouts of seriously considering suicide.
Oh my
But
god.
thinking about leaving her without me saved my life. I loved that dog so much. I inhaled her last breaths when I had her euthanized.
Oh no.
The fact that George Santos scammed this person, a homeless vet,
dude.
and scammed this man to the point where his
What the
service animal
fuck,
had to
man?
die when
Oh
it
no.
might have been saved.
That is so
Just gives you a
fucked
sense
up.
of who this person really is, right? I mean, all of the insane lies, I mean, we've been dunking on him, making
is
fun
so
of him,
fucked
but
up,
this
bro.
goes to a completely different
Oh.
level. Just
Jesus
the
fucking
willingness to
Christ.
carry out this insanely
These people are
cruel
fucking
act,
evil,
this
man.
insanely
They're
cruel
literally
scam.
evil.
And when
And we have people voting
the
for
press
them.
reached
like,
out to George Santos to ask about this, he
like
just
of
said
course people didn't
simply,
know yet, but
"Fake,
fuck me,
no
dude.
clue who this is." Well, the gentleman that you're pretending not to know has the receipts. The text
Oh,
exchanges.
man.
Screenshots of those text exchanges are readily available in the original reporting of this story. What happened to the money? What'd you do with it? There really does need to be an
Fucking stole
investigation
it, dude.
into not only George Santos's alleged charity, but more
Shit.
importantly, where did he get his money from? The money that he loaned to his own campaign. I mean, obviously, this wasn't a guy who was working at Goldman Sachs. He's lied about all
He
of
probably
his
had like a
credentials.
charity
He's
in
lied about his
Brazil where he
education.
scammed
He's lied
millions
about
of
his
people,
heritage.
I
He's lied
bet.
about everything. Where did the money come from?
I bet.
So there are potential campaign finance issues there, potential fraud
Oh,
issues,
man.
certainly when it comes to his alleged charity. And despite what a ghoul George Santos is,
Literally a
the
fucking
Republican
ghoul
Party,
from
the
Fallout.
Republican establishment has decided to reward him and his scamming ways by giving him committee assignments. Let's watch.
Oh my God, committee
Let's go back to Republicans
assignments,
sticking
dude.
by him. Today, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, said Santos will be seated
Look
on
at that
committees.
smirk on his face,
What do
bro.
we know so far about his assignments?
Well, we actually just found out within the last few minutes, news breaking, that Congressman Santos will serve on the Small Business Committee, which one of its main responsibilities is to oversee potential fraud within the
Oh my God, they put him on a small business committee. They put him on a committee to oversee fraud. Think about that. They put a fraudster who scammed a homeless veteran who had a dog that had cancer. They put him to oversee small business committee fraud and shit. Wow. Republican Party. Good job.
PPP program that was quite popular during the pandemic, but there was a lot of back and forth about if some of that money was misused. So that's kind of the main area of focus for the Small Business Committee.
Incredible.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
What a
isn't it so
fucking loser,
perfect?
dude.
Have the guy who's clearly a fraudster oversee potential fraud related to businesses in America. And why would Kevin McCarthy, why would Republican leadership do this when they know that this guy is an insane pathological liar? If I were a Republican in the House of Representatives right now, I would be so embarrassed to be associated with someone like George Santos in any way, shape, or form.
Literally.
But the Republican Party rewarded him with committee assignments. Not only is he on the Small Business Committee, he's also going to be on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee. And look, Republican leadership did it. Kevin McCarthy did it because George Santos supported Kevin McCarthy in his bid to be Speaker of the House. At the end of the day, it's all about power. Always remember that.
Yep.
Kevin McCarthy does not give a damn about you.
Speaker of the House.
He doesn't give a damn about Republican voters. He doesn't give a damn about the American people or making this country a better place.
True.
Kevin McCarthy cares about Kevin McCarthy, much like most politicians in Congress today. And that's because the system incentivizes these ghouls to run for public office.
All right, that
When
was
you
a
have
good
a
video.
system that allows lawmakers to trade individual
Oh, we
stocks
have-
and enrich themselves with insider trading,